Please stand as you are able for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled
welcome to the stage
Good morning and welcome to our national capital in the 2025 AVMA Convention. Our annual gathering is one of the highlights of the year, always filled with engagement, education, and energy. And this year is extra special because we are joined by our colleagues from the World Veterinary Association for their 40th World Veterinary Association Congress. It's truly an honor to welcome colleagues from around the world to our convention. We gather during a time of transformation in our profession and beyond. Across the globe, veterinary professionals are being called to navigate changing landscapes, not just in medicine, but in workforce dynamics and the expectations of the communities we serve. We are so glad you are here, and together we will forge a new chapter in our collective work to serve the global veterinary community. The theme of this year's convention is United for the Veterinary Community. Whether we work in clinical practices, or industry, or academia, or government, or research, we are united in a common purpose. This theme brings to mind for me the importance not only of the work done by our veterinary teams, but also the critical role veterinary associations around the world play in serving their members and advocating for their interests. It is through our shared purpose that we serve our profession and build unity in our communities. The veterinary community is built on a foundation of caring for all animals and serving all people. We recognize the value that diversity of thought, background, and identity bring to our profession. Creating environments where everyone feels respected, seen, and supported strengthens our collective ability to serve. In that, we can find unity. The AVMA, an association built by our members and here to serve you, all of you, is constantly driven to help you enhance animal health and welfare. As the nation's leading advocate for the veterinary profession, representing more than 108,000 members, the AVMA is committed to protecting, promoting, and advancing the needs of all veterinarians and those they serve. We are also committed to supporting veterinary students and members of the veterinary teams, including veterinary technicians and veterinary technician specialists. This includes nurturing future talent by supporting programs that expand awareness, exposure, and access for all. In that, we can find unity. The AVMA is here for you, and we advance the shared interests, values of AVMA members in a variety of ways. We develop policy on key issues and advocate for you, ensuring your ability to deliver crucial veterinary services. As a matter of fact, just a few days ago, Thursday to be exact, our entire House of Delegates converged on Capitol Hill to meet with dozens of legislators to represent your interests in protecting veterinary access to xylazine and our efforts to enhance veterinary services in rural and underserved areas. It was an amazing day. We provide timely and relevant products and services that support veterinary teams in protecting the health and welfare of animals in your care and that enhance professional success, including new tools designed to strengthen workplace culture and promote veterinary team well-being. We educate the public on the important and varied types of work that you all do to advance both animal and human health. We in the veterinary community are a diverse and passionate group of professionals, all striving to improve the health and well-being of animals, humans, and the environment we share. We are deeply proud of our global alliances, such as our long-standing and vital relationship with the World Veterinary Association. These partnerships help to ensure that our members are included in worldwide conversations and can share valuable resources, information, and ideas with fellow veterinarians everywhere. As we each go forward, let us remain focused on cultivating relationships. Let us carry out our duties and responsibilities with integrity and grace. And let us continue to be a profession that upholds compassion and science as the bedrock of our decisions, recognizing that what we do locally often ripples across borders. And let us work in unison to support public health, animal health and welfare, and ecosystem health around the world. Doing so will allow us to more effectively advance the veterinary profession and fulfill the oaths we all take, because in that we can find unity. Thank you once again for joining us for this special convention, and we are so thrilled to have you all here. It's now time for us to recognize some incredibly special people. It's the chance to honor remarkable individuals who have made a real difference in the lives of both animals and people. It's time to present the AVMA Meritorious Service Award and the AVMA Award. The AVMA Meritorious Service Award recognizes those whose personal and professional commitments help to bring honor and distinction to the entire veterinary profession. And I'm so honored to present this year's AVMA Meritorious Service Award to Dr. Shannon Bass. Dr. Bass is a 1998 graduate of Texas A&M University College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences and practiced small animal emergency medicine in North Carolina for many years, becoming medical director of her hospital before shifting gears to recruiting and hospital management. She is presently employed as Vice President of Medical Leadership for Vet Pets and is a champion of organized veterinary medicine. Dr. Bass's efforts and good work have certainly brought honor and distinction to our profession. She provided exceptional service to her community in response to 2024's Hurricane Helene, which caused widespread devastation across western North Carolina. Her leadership in collaboration with the North Carolina Veterinary Medical Association provided a wealth of support through a mobile pop-up veterinary clinic that provided services free of charge, arranging the delivery of feed to herds cut off from truck deliveries, overseeing the many volunteers who assess the needs of 284 veterinary clinics and 14 shelters, and their veterinary staff and their veterinarians, managing donations and distributions of supplies from vendors and clinics, and so much more. Her exceptional accomplishments make it a special pleasure to congratulate and recognize her as this year's AVMA Meritorious Service Award recipient. Dr. Bass, you are truly deserving of this honor. Thank you for all that you have done and continue to do. Let's take a look at Dr. Bass's award acceptance video.
It's my honor to accept the AVMA Meritorious Service Award on behalf of all the North Carolina veterinarians affected by Hurricane Helene and all their colleagues who stepped up in response. Hurricane Helene made landfall in the Big Bend area of the Florida Gulf Coast as a Category 4 storm late in the evening of Thursday, September 26, 2024. Helene was technically a tropical storm by the time she arrived in North Carolina, but no one who responded to this event makes any apology for our continued use of the word hurricane. When I joined the North Carolina Emergency Response Team call on the Monday morning after the storm, I had no idea NCVMA would become so involved. Jennifer Kendrick, the NCVMA Executive Director, had been invited to the call and included me as NCVMA President. We were both listening and interested, but with no specific role. As various groups reported on their efforts, a request was made. The Emergency Programs Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture had multiple emails and calls from veterinarians who wanted to help and needed someone to help organize those volunteers. An extended silence greeted the first request. The question came again, with more emotion. In what felt like a long time, but in reality it was only a few seconds, I decided organizing veterinarians was within the mission of the NCVMA. I clicked to unmute, introduced myself to people who didn't know me, and volunteered to help. Looking back, I probably should have texted Jen Kendrick. Multiple conversations followed over the next couple of days as NCVMA officially started coordinating with the Department of Ag and their Emergency Operations Center to help match veterinary volunteers with needs across Western North Carolina. Using a form on our website, we collected a list of almost 400 volunteers, some from as far away as California. In the first few days, the situation on the ground proved too uncertain to send non-residents into an area that had no power, water, gasoline, or cell service. So most requests were answered by veterinarians within the disaster zone. Many of these veterinarians had to drive or walk to elevated areas to get signal, and even then, the signal would sometimes only support texting. The Department of Ag first sent requests for veterinarians to treat pets at shelters. This included emergency human shelters where displaced people were staying with their pets, as well as existing animal shelters that had been cleared, but were now taking in animals found after the storm. As official search and rescue operations started, first responders requested veterinary care for sick pets in hard-to-reach areas, and we matched volunteers to those animals. One volunteer reached a dog via ATV. I literally told this intrepid veterinarian to go to a particular church and ask for Linda, who would connect her with an ATV driver to get up the mountain with the supplies she was able to bring in a backpack. There are a lot of examples like this of individuals doing extraordinary things. By Thursday, October 10th, 2 weeks after the storm, we were actively working on 5 specific projects. Continuing to match volunteers with needs from the Department of Ag, supporting a pop-up clinic in Black Mountain led by Dr. Pat Ash, maintaining a practice and shelter status list for over 300 facilities using 30 volunteers to assess their needs led by Dr. Karen Smith, coordinating vendor-donated supplies from companies including Covetrus, DEFRA, Merck, Patterson, Vitoquinol, Verbac, Zoetis, and more, led by Dr. Lissa Capitano, and fundraising for the Friends of NCVMA Foundation, which turned into grants that we were able to award to veterinary practice owners as well as veterinary staff, in addition to funding large animal feeding needs. I give you these details to illustrate that while I'm the one to accept this award, what I really did was connect amazing people who wanted to help with grateful folks who needed assistance. I got to be the conductor of a symphony filled with notes of caring, selflessness, and gratitude. Personally, I'm very thankful for the small but mighty staff and executive committee of the NCVMA, who without hesitation jumped into unfamiliar tasks. For my colleagues at Vets Pets, who held down the fort at my paying job so I could focus on this response. And for my husband, Adam, who would pull me away every evening from my 3 monitors and 2 phones and make sure I ate dinner. This was not just my effort, but a huge team effort. I'm so grateful we could do good work that had a positive effect on so many people and animals. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Best. It is now my pleasure to recognize the recipient of the 2025 AVMA Award. The AVMA Award was established in 1931 to recognize members who exhibited outstanding leadership and who worked to advance the organizational aspect of veterinary medicine. And it is now my honor to present this year's award to Dr. Lori Teller. Dr. Teller earned her DVM in 1990 from the Texas A&M University College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, where she is currently a clinical professor in telehealth. She is also serving as Chief Veterinary Officer for Guardian Vets, a telehealth company based in Chicago. Dr. Teller has dedicated countless hours, unwavering energy, and deep dedication to the veterinary profession. From her early days as an associate at a small animal practice, her involvement has grown to encompass leadership roles at both the state and national levels, including her recent service as president of the AVMA. Dr. Teller is a founding member of the Women's Veterinary Leadership Development Initiative. She's an unwavering advocate for the integration of veterinary telemedicine into practice and an uncompromising supporter of those in underrepresented groups working to ensure opportunities are provided to lead and contribute to the future of the profession. Her CV contains more than 25 pages of publications, media appearances, public-facing articles, and both domestic and international lectures and presentations at veterinary conferences. Whether in Texas or traveling internationally, Dr. Teller represents the pinnacle of veterinary professionalism and is a shining example of servant leadership. Through these efforts and more, Dr. Teller has helped shape a more inclusive, innovative, and forward-thinking future for the profession. Please join me in watching Dr. Teller's acceptance video.
I am not sure I can find the words that adequately express how much the AVMA award means to me. I am a strong and passionate believer in the role organized veterinary medicine plays in strengthening our profession, and I am grateful for every opportunity that I've had to participate and serve our members. I have had some amazing experiences, such as testifying before a congressional subcommittee or working with veterinarians around the world to create policies on food safety and animal welfare. But you know what means the most to me? The people, veterinarians working in the trenches who took the time to reach out and share their thoughts, and the students who dream of everything they can accomplish in our profession, and the veterinary team members who've saved my rear end more times than I can count. There are so many people who believed in me and helped me get where I am today. Family members, friends, teachers, and colleagues, whom I don't have time to name here, but each one of them lives in my heart and in this award. Every time I look at this award, I will think of them and the role that they have played in supporting me throughout my career. I hope I have made them proud, and I hope that I can honor their belief in me by paying it forward to others. Thank you very much for honoring me with the 2025 AVMA Award.
Thank you, Dr. Teller, for your dedication and service. And at this time, Dr. Teller, could you please stand, because we'd like to recognize you with another round of applause. Before I turn it over to our next speaker, I want to extend an invitation to all of you to attend a very special event later today, when the AVMA and the World Veterinary Association honor and recognize even more amazing people as we host our first ever joint AVMA WVA award ceremony right here in this ballroom from 5 to 7 p.m. And to sweeten the event even more, there will be plenty of food and drink for everyone to enjoy. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. John DeYoung, President of the World Veterinary Association and a true champion of our profession and organized veterinary medicine. Dr. DeYoung has held many leadership positions in organized veterinary medicine and a former AVMA board member, serving as chair in 2015 and 2016, and as president in 2018 and 2019. Dr. DeYoung is also a past president of the Massachusetts and New England Veterinary Medical Association, as well as the American Association of House Call Veterinarians. He served as a treasurer of the World Small Animal Veterinary Association from 2020 to 2022, and president of the American Veterinary Medical History Society from 23 to 24. Dr. DeYoung is a diplomat of the American Veterinary One Health Society and serves as trustee emeritus of Tufts University, while also serving on 2 of the university's boards of advisors. Please help me give a warm welcome to WVA President Dr. John DeYoung.
Wow, good morning. And boy, is it great to be here for what is truly an exciting and momentous time for both the WVA and the AVMA. It is so great to see you all. And thank you, Dr. Fay, for the introduction and for your inspiring remarks. I want to echo Dr. Fay in expressing how important unity and collegiality are in this great profession of ours. As one of 2 proud sons and Dutch parents and Puerto Rican step-parents, my upbringing helped me see the many wonders of our world's cultures and how important diverse experiences and insights are to helping build a better global community. Helping build more bridges in our global veterinary community are the main reasons why I wanted to extend my service to organized veterinary medicine upon completing my time with the AVMA. Serving as treasurer of the World Small Animal Veterinary Association and now as president of the World Veterinary Association has reinforced for me that while we may live in different parts of the world, we, as veterinarians, have so much in common. Through science sharing, peer learning, and global outreach and collaboration, the WVA brings veterinarians from all over the world together to share experiences, exchange ideas, and join forces for the promotion, betterment, and development of veterinary medicine. The WVA defends the interests of the health and welfare of all animals and people, as well as the interests of its member organizations and their members. Sound familiar? I'm sure it does. Because the AVMA works to do the very same thing, and we both do a darn good job at it. That is why the WVA and the AVMA share such a strong bond, and we are both committed to serving animals, people, and our members. If I may borrow from Dr. Fay's remarks, in that, we can find unity. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome 2 special guests to today's keynote event and recognize them for their service to the global veterinary community. Joining us is Dr. Emmanuelle Soubegon. She is the Director General of the World Organization of Animal Health. Dr. Soubegon will be providing the opening keynote presentation at the 11th WVA Global One Health Summit on the veterinarian's role in global food security tomorrow morning. Thank you, Dr. Soubegon, for joining us and for all the great work you and your organization do to protect global animal health. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And also joining us is Dr. Tanawat Denson, the Assistant Director General, Director of the Animal Production and Health Division, and Chief Veterinarian at the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations. Dr. Tenson is the second keynote speaker at tomorrow's WVA Global One Health Summit. Thank you, Dr. Tenson, for your participation and service in the work of the FAO. Also, please stand and be recognized. And thank you again, Dr. Fay and the AVMA, and thank you all for being here. On behalf of the World Veterinary Association and its members, as well as our guests and attendees from around the globe, let's continue to work together to advance veterinary medicine and serve those who rely on our care and our expertise. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Stuart Brown, Chair of the AVMA Trust. A noted equine practitioner, Dr. Brown is Vice President of Equine Safety at Keeneland Association in Lexington, Kentucky, Chairman of the Gluck Equine Research Foundation, and a member of the Jockey Club. He serves as the American Association of Equine Practitioners Delegate to the House of Delegates and is a member of the House Advisory Committee. Dr. Brown, please join me on the stage.
Wow, thank you, and good morning. I'm honored to be here in our nation's capital representing the AVMA Trust, best known to many of you as AVMA Life from PLIT. Standing here just steps from the Capitol building, the White House, and countless monuments, I'm reminded that this location truly embodies this year's theme, United for the Veterinary Community. It brings to mind the spirit of unity we champion, much like the deep roots of Kentucky bluegrass that binds the rich soil of my home state. We proudly stand alongside the AVMA, united in the goal of supporting each of you at each stage of the journey you're in life of veterinary medicine. From the time spent at veterinary school, to the challenges and triumphs of professional practice, and into secure retirement, the Trust has been and will continue to be your partner, delivering the peace of mind you deserve. Just as a strong and reliable mount is essential for a steady ride, the Trust provides that vital security for your career. While SAVA members are just now as students, we recognize them as the future of our veterinary community. We are proud to offer them complimentary professional liability and life insurance coverages. They can also take advantage of a benefit that covers cost of rabies vaccinations, auto and renter's insurance, and disability coverage to safeguard their investment in their veterinary education. As your career advances, we remain committed to safeguarding your professional reputation, your practice, and your family. Through our comprehensive sponsored programs, you have access to specialized business insurance, life, accident, and disability coverage. And if you need to submit a claim, our dedicated trust veterinarians will guide you through the claims process, offering peer review and support. Their expertise is as finely tuned as a champion thoroughbred. Last year alone, they meticulously reviewed 6,579 claims, a testimony to their true dedication. For practice owners of all sizes, the Trust delivers powerful employee benefits to protect your team. The Practice Healthcare Solutions Program provides group healthcare plans to members across various states throughout the U.S. Our association retirement plan manages over $78 million in assets. Plus, the voluntary employee benefits plans are a strategic advantage, helping you attract and retain top talent. As we circle back to the theme of this year's convention, I'd like to recognize what we celebrate here. The AVMA Trust is honored to be your program sponsor, empowering you to thrive, secure in the knowledge that we are here to provide you with access to solutions designed to protect and support you every step of the way. Let's embrace this extraordinary spirit of togetherness as we head down the stretch toward a stronger, more united veterinary community for the future. The AVMA Trust is proud to be a part of bringing you today's keynote address, and we look forward to enjoying it here with you in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
We now have a special guest joining us today from right here in Washington, D.C. Dr. Rosemary Sifford began her career with the United States Department of Agriculture in 1997. Since that time, she has served the USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services in a variety of policy, operations, and management positions throughout the agency. Dr. Sifford most recently served as the Associate Deputy Administrator in Veterinary Services before becoming the Deputy Administrator of Veterinary Services in August of 21. In this capacity, Dr. Sifford serves as the U.S. Chief Veterinary Officer and U.S. Delegate to the World Organization for Animal Health, where she was recently elected as the Secretary General of the Regional Commission for the Americas. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. Rosemary Sifford.
Good morning, everyone. It's my honor to spend a few minutes talking to you about a small segment of veterinary medicine that has a big impact and the ways that veterinarians lead the way in policy development. So veterinarians play a key leadership role both in domestic and international animal health. Veterinarians develop policies and processes that protect U.S. livestock against the introduction or spread of disease, engage in international collaboration to address animal health challenges, and ensure safe trade across the globe. Veterinarians provide national-level expertise and facilitate a nationwide network of diagnostic laboratories for the early detection of animal disease, allowing for rapid response times and preventing further spread. Veterinarians provide oversight of veterinary drugs and biologics, ensuring that they work as intended to treat or prevent disease or illness. And veterinarians lead the way in animal welfare, wildlife management, food safety, disease surveillance, and emergency planning and response. It is veterinary leadership in this regulatory space that it happens with the experienced people in the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the Food and Drug Administration, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, other federal agencies, and across state and local governments that allow us to have the kind of impact we have in policy development. So I started my career not expecting to be a regulatory veterinarian. Like many others, as I moved into veterinary medicine, I thought I would be in private practice. But as I started my time in vet school, I had the opportunity to work as a student with USDA. And what I learned from those first few weeks and months of working in that space was all the impact that we could have in developing policies that support producers both nationwide and worldwide. And I've experienced through that career then all the ways that veterinarians and veterinary medicine impact the public. So after I started my internship and decided to move into USDA as a permanent career, I worked a lot in the field, operationalizing those policies and understanding how producers and accredited veterinarians work together to make sure that the animal health that we anticipate is able to be carried out. I worked in a variety of positions since that time, including both developing a policy and, as was mentioned, the management of our staff that do that work. All of those positions taught me some key lessons about the importance of veterinary leadership in both domestic and international animal health and welfare. Veterinary leadership provides the basis for animal health, welfare, economic stability, public health, environmental stability, and trade. All of this is impacted by the policies that we set to prevent animal diseases. Veterinarians play a crucial role in the development and implementation of regulatory policies that protect animal health, public health, and the safety of the food supply. The responsibilities are vast and the impact is great, and it develops on all the regulatory policies that we pull together. Veterinarians lead the way in developing and enforcing regulations that prevent the introduction of foreign animal diseases, that support our control and eradication efforts for diseases that we have, and enforce the laws that surround animal welfare in the U.S. We very often speak of a One Health approach. That approach is very important for us to bring all the aspects to the table, not only the skill and the expertise for veterinary medicine, but also our public health partners, our environmental partners, and others to help us understand how we can pull all of the pieces of the puzzle together to create policies and situations that are benefits to all of us. Veterinarians are critical in investigating zoonotic disease, and they work to prevent the spread of zoonotic disease between animals and humans. As veterinary professionals, we are essential in the ways that we contribute our scientific expertise and knowledge of animal health and welfare to the policymaking process. It's really important for us in all our policymaking processes, but as I've learned, especially in the last few years, it's very, very important in emerging disease situations when we have to have the flexibility and the forward thinking that veterinarians bring to the table to allow us to address a situation where we don't have all the information we'd like to have and we don't really know some key facts about how the disease might react in a long-term situation. But veterinarians have that kind of foresight and thinking to deal with emerging disease situations. Veterinarians also play a crucial role in facilitating safe trade by negotiating agreements between countries and by negotiating on an international scale. We work very hard in making sure that we prevent the spread of diseases during the international trade of animals and animal products. It is through veterinarians applying their scientific expertise to assess the animal health risks associated with trade in certain products that allows them to make the recommendations to lessen those risks and allow free-flowing trade without the risk of new diseases. We also use our unique skill set to bring trust and capacity building to the table, using transparency and good governance to reach agreements across the international scale. We also serve as voting members and delegates to the World Organization of Animal Health and serve as scientific experts on working groups and liaisons for international collaboration. All of this work contributes to the development and implementation of international animal health standards and global efforts to prevent and control animal disease. All of this work is usually based on really incremental progress. You don't start a conversation and are able to achieve the ultimate goal right away, but veterinarians are able to understand how to make that incremental progress and how to work through competing priorities to make sure that we can achieve the ultimate goal, even if it takes us a little time to get there. And that's the way that we work together collaboratively to achieve long-term goals on an international scale. Finally, the veterinarians that work in our federal government and our state and local governments protect the domestic herd through collaborative efforts with our local accredited veterinarian and industry partners and partners in academia. We work on disease prevention and response, surveillance and diagnostics, regulation and enforcement, as well as research and outreach. It's bringing all of those skills together through the veterinary leadership that allows us to have disease prevention and response. We implement proactive measures to keep foreign animal diseases out of the country and respond to disease detections that do occur. Federal veterinarians make sure that we have equipment available in the National Veterinary Stockpile, as well as vaccines and diagnostic test kits in our vaccine stockpile, and we work very closely with state partners and partners in academia and private practice to work through emergency response planning and exercises to ensure that we're all prepared to use those tools and equipment when they're necessary. We also collaborate closely with partners in wildlife to ensure that we have the tools that we need to make sure that we can control diseases that impact wildlife. It is through the regulation and enforcement efforts of regulatory veterinarians that we ensure the humane treatment of regulated animals, control the quality of veterinary biologics to ensure that they're pure, safe, potent, and effective, and promote safe and predictable global trade in animal products, and enforce meat regulations for meat and poultry. The folks at USDA are especially involved in disease control and eradication and planning for diseases that might reach our borders. We've been doing a lot of exercises in response in recent weeks and years around New World screwworm and African swine fever, as well as handling the current outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza. And it's through the collaboration of the regulatory veterinarians with the accredited veterinarians and the industry partners that we've been able to make all the progress that we've made in preparing for and addressing the diseases that approach our borders. Veterinary professionals work across the government and work with veterinary professionals outside the government to do a lot of important and critical work to support public health and the environment. In the federal government, we have veterinarians in many different approaches, folks who are in the field working the testing and the diagnostics to support modeling and epidemiology to help us understand disease spread. Veterinarians across all of these fields and areas of the profession do work that not everybody knows about, but that gives us the basis for the policies that help us support our food supply across the country. No matter what kind of field the veterinarians are in, they're generally very passionate about their work, and I too am passionate about the work that I do. The work that we do in the U.S. Department of Agriculture is built on safeguarding the domestic herd and collaborating with veterinary leaders across the globe to ensure that we can serve animal health around the world. I appreciate the work that all of the veterinarians do and appreciate the opportunity to share our time around regulatory medicine.
Next up, I'd like to recognize another group that is working hard to support the profession. It is my pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. Rebecca Trumbull, Director, Professional Partnerships and Strategies, Hills Pet Nutrition.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much, Dr. Fay. It is an honor to be joining you this year on the ABMA convention stage. We appreciate you, Dr. Fay, and everyone with the ABMA for all you do to provide learning opportunities and to help advance both the veterinary and the human health professions. It's been exciting already to connect with so many other veterinary professionals from the nation and this year from around the world. I'm looking forward to the rest of the weekend and the exciting events to come. We at Hills extend our gratitude to the entire ABMA team that made this convention a reality. It's been such a remarkable event already. I'm looking forward to the next few days here in Washington, D.C. I'd also like to recognize the hard work of my Hills team. Thank you for your dedication and your efforts during this event. I am so grateful to work alongside each one of you every day. Last and most importantly, I'd like to thank all of you in the audience. You are the heart of our profession, working tirelessly to improve the lives of animals and their families. At Hills, we are deeply honored to be your partners, and we appreciate all that you do. Here at the convention, Hills is pleased to support several CE opportunities throughout the week. We already have had a fantastic lineup of speakers who presented a number of topics, from nutritional support for both our canine and feline companions to the importance of the gut microbiome. In case you missed it, you can find the proceedings on the ABMA website. Sessions will continue today and throughout the week, so be sure to check those out. Here in just a moment, we'll have the privilege of hearing from our keynote speaker, Megan Levy, who will share her powerful story about her partnership with her military working dog, Rex, and how their journey together inspired her transition from a Marine Corps canine handler into her career in veterinary medicine. Then, later tonight, don't miss out on the Live Life, Love All party of the weekend. We will celebrate all the amazing things that make us different and all the amazing profession and passions that bring us together. And don't miss, back by popular demand, the silent disco, so bring your dancing shoes. We are in for a fun evening. On Monday, we will have the National Geographic's Critter Fixers annual Vet for a Day event. Hills is grateful for our continued partnership with Dr. Bernard Hodges and Dr. Terrence Ferguson. They've been fans of Hills since their early days as veterinary students at Tuskegee. We are honored to help sponsor the Vet for a Day program, where middle school and high school students get a first-hand experience into the world of veterinary medicine. At Hills, we are thankful to be part of this amazing program to inspire and mentor the next generation of veterinary professionals. And of course, a little bit about what's going on at Hills. As you know, Hills is a science-led innovation group that drives everything that we do. For more than a decade, Hills has been at the forefront of microbiome research. Microbiome continues to be a topic of growing importance in both the human and animal health world. As we know, it is foundational to our overall wellness. It's also allowed continued research to transform how we manage disease. At Hills, our microbiome research has led to breakthrough innovations, including several fiber bundles and ingredient blend technologies that we lovingly refer to as the Active Biome Plus. Building on the success in technology in products you know and love, like gastrointestinal biome and prescription diet KD, which both contain the Active Biome Plus blend, many of our new and enhanced Hills prescription diet products launched earlier this year feature this Active Biome Plus technology. Plus, 2 of our new products are designed to help you care for your patients with concurrent conditions. We have prescription diet multi-organ for dogs and cats that contains Active Biome Plus kidney defense technology, and we have our new prescription diet Brain Care Plus JD for dogs and cats. And of course, we know high quality nutrition is not only important for those with disease, but also in our healthy patients. And we have some great new innovation within our Science Diet Life Stage portfolio, which now include upgrades that include Active Plus multi-benefit, providing daily support for digestion, immune system, and organ health. If you would like more, please check out our booth while you're here at AVMA. Now I'd like to take a moment to introduce my colleague, Dr. Chelsea Esty, who is the new U.S. Chief Veterinary Officer at Hill's Pet Nutrition. Dr. Esty brings with her a wealth of experience, an unwavering passion for animal health, and a deep commitment to advancing the well-being of pets everywhere. Dr. Esty is a board-certified veterinary neurologist with advanced training in neurology and neurosurgery from Cornell University. She has experience in both private practice as well as leadership roles in the animal health pharmaceutical industry. As we welcome Dr. Esty into this important role at Hills, I know we are all eager to hear from her directly. She's prepared a brief introduction video for us. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Esty.
Hello, AVMA. My name is Dr. Chelsea Esty, and I'm honored to introduce myself as the new U.S. Chief Veterinary Officer at Hills Pet Nutrition. I wanted to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude to each of you for your dedication to the veterinary profession. It's a privilege to join a company like Hills, working alongside veterinarians for more than 75 years to champion science-led nutrition. I'm eager to listen, learn, and collaborate with you as we find new, innovative ways to support our patients' well-being. Please stop by and say hello to our fantastic Hills team at booth 1517 to learn about the microbiome, share your feedback, and grab some great swag. Don't forget your annual Hills collectible tote bag. Together, we can keep raising the standard of care for pets everywhere. Thank you for your commitment to our field, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Esty. It is my extreme honor to introduce Megan Levy. So a little bit about her. Megan grew up in Valley Cottage, New York, only an hour's drive from the World Trade Center. Megan decided to do college after the horrific events of September 11, 2001, to join the U.S. Marines. After graduating from boot camp, successfully completing Marine combat training, military police, and K-9 school training, Megan was stationed at Camp Pendleton, California from 2004 to 2007 with the military police K-9 section. Eventually, she was partnered with Rex, a military working dog. Together, inseparable, and tasked with keeping themselves and others safe, the duo completed 2 tours of duty in Iraq, in Fallujah in 2005, and then in Ramadi in 2006, completing over 100 missions. Toward the end of their second tour, Megan and Rex were wounded in the line of duty. Insurgents watching from a rooftop detonated an improvised explosive device as Megan and Rex were sweeping the area. Undeterred from the dogs she loved working with so much, Megan stayed in the K-9 field as a civilian contractor after her time with the Marines and worked for 8 years with another explosive detection dog named Patriot. After retiring Patriot, Megan found herself pursuing her love for animals in the veterinary medical field. Megan worked her way up from veterinary assistant to the lead surgical veterinary technician at an animal hospital in New Jersey. After the birth of her daughter, she continues to work as a technician with a concierge veterinarian making house calls. There are few relationships more closely bond. The story of Megan and Rex was the focus of the June 2017 film Megan is based on the story of the special bond they shared. Let's take a brief look.
We've been surrounding area check.
I just don't know why you want to do this. I know you don't. Just so you know,
Running away isn't gonna solve anything.
Hang on that ball! Talk to us, Jordan!
Found something!
good boy. I've been watching this dog all year. It's the most aggressive dog I've ever treated.
Does really need another break.
Sorry, Desmond.
You getting the dog. You got this. Think faster.
Yeah, I got this. You think I'm afraid of you? Lay down. Rex, lay down. Vehicle approaching.
Guns up! you join?
To get away from my life. Shipping out tomorrow. We are so not ready for this.
Clear! Lady, check the vehicle!
Where's my dog? I need to see him. Oh no.
You cannot come back to my house like some big war hero.
Back off, Mom!
You can't let your whole life fall apart over some dog.
That dog saved my life. Please just change his classification so that I can adopt him when he gets back.
They're warriors.
Can I just have a moment at a time? His name's Rex. He saved thousands of lives in that act. What did you say your name was? Corporal Magnetti.
All you have to do is fight. You know how to fight. You're a Marine.
What would you say to Rex if he were here? I'd thank him for teaching me what love is.
Without further ado, please put your ladies together to welcome Megan Levy, our keynote speaker, to the ADMA Convention stage. Thank you, guys. I am so excited to be here. See if my clicker works. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. All right, so thank you guys for being here. My favorite audience to speak to is people that love animals just as much as I do. And I look around and I think I found my people too. So big that round of applause for yourselves as well, because I also consider all of us smart, because we have managed to incorporate that love for animals into our profession. So great job, everybody. There you go. So I know they already introduced me, but I will tell you my version if you're not familiar with my story. My name is Megan Levy. I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps as a canine handler to a big, beautiful, intimidating German Shepherd named Rex. When my military service was up, I loved it and I still wanted to work in the canine field. I was able to transition into working as a canine handler for a private company in New York City with this sweet, adorable chocolate lab really named Patriot. When she was ready to retire, I thought, how am I going to afford you? And what am I going to do next? And that is how I found myself getting into veterinary medicine. I thought, all right, I have 12 years experience in working with dogs. I love animals. I can probably get hooked up with a sweet, sweet discount if I work in an animal hospital. Let me see what this is all about. So I went on my first interview. And I was lucky enough to be hired. Shout out to Dr. Neil Hess and the staff at Old Kim's Veterinary for giving me a shot. And I thought when I first started working, I'll be pretty good at this job. I'm used to being around big, aggressive dogs. But let me tell you, being a canine handler and being a vet tech are very different. I'm lucky that I worked with such great doctors over the years who mentored me. Dr. Neil Hess, Dr. Sheila McCaffrey, Dr. Christine Asgar, and Dr. Shaylin Kenny. Hi, Shay. She's here somewhere today. Thanks to them, I learned so much on-the-job training, and they were patient. They were happy to teach me as long as I was willing to learn. And listen, we all know doctors are not the only ones that make the hospital run. I'm lucky that I work with so many talented technicians who I'm still in touch with over the years. And I was always grateful for our longest standing client service representative. Her name was Janine Heller. She was like the mom of our hospital. She would organize every work birthday celebration. She would make her famous carrot cake, which was delicious. I never previously liked it. And she would make you sweet, personalized gifts of your pets for your birthday. She made that poster and put it in the kennel for my dog, from her dog, when she was having a procedure. She was the most caring, thoughtful animal lover that I had met. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't always pleasant and fun working in my early days as a vet tech. I spent a lot of time observing, cleaning, picking up poop, taking out the garbage, unstocking food, all of those fun jobs that nobody really wants to do. But eventually I became comfortable. I got really good with restraints. I started giving vaccines and taking blood. Next up for me, learning to put in a catheter and intubate patients. Soon I found myself with my own surgery day. I would calculate drug doses and monitor anesthesia. I would recover the pets post-surgery. I became a pro at x-rays and positioning. Can we do 3 dentals in a day? Let's go. I had a good attitude because I really loved what I was doing. And soon, after 7 years, I found myself as the lead technician. Now I was the one that was training the other techs. I had a solid team for a while, and it was a great experience. It was also nostalgic for me whenever a big aggressive dog would come into our hospital and the doctors would automatically run to me and ask if I could be the one to help. When I became pregnant with my daughter, I had to take a back seat in wrangling the big dogs. But I did work throughout my whole pregnancy, and I never envisioned myself not returning to my clinic. I was wrong. When my maternity leave was up, I had a long talk with my boss about what was going to be next for me. And I decided that being full-time mom was where my priorities were at the time. And I'm sure that there's parents in here and they can relate that children just cause interruptions, right? That's what they do. And for me, that's all it was a little interruption. Because just 2 years later, I was back. I was back, but just in a different capacity. But I was still doing what I loved. Last year, a doctor who I worked with at my original clinic, Dr. Sheila McCaffrey, she heard that I was not returning after my maternity leave, and she asked and said, "Hey, would you want to help me, but when you're able to?" She started her own business called Senior Pet Vet. She specializes in palliative care and offers concierge services where we travel to people's homes to treat their sick pets or perform at-home euthanasias. We also offer primary medical services for patients that are too difficult to get into a veterinary office. And that alleviates a lot of stress, not only on the pet, but the owners as well. And what's great for me, to work around the needs of my family, and I'm still able to work in the career field that I love. And I understand how demanding veterinary medicine can
be. While juggling a family, it can feel like a lot. But I want to tell you, there's ways you can make it work. Don't feel like you're trapped in one clinic with one schedule for the rest of your life. There's so many different roles in veterinary medicine. And if you stay in it long enough, life changes are going to happen. You're going to develop different interests. So don't be afraid to see what's out there. And look, this is the great thing about this conference. Look around. Don't be shy. Everybody has a story to tell, some knowledge and experience. So talk to the people around you. Your advice or your experience, even sometimes just your contact information, could be the important change in somebody else's career. What I've learned is networking, guys. Networking is really important in life. And if I do have one piece of advice for everybody in this industry, really just for people in general, it would be to treat everything to work with. But if you live by that piece of advice, I guarantee you won't be that person. So, the reason that got me here, they made a movie about me. Still so surreal to me, but I think it's pretty amazing that after so much time has passed, people are still interested in hearing my story. This will definitely be a trip down memory lane for me. So let me just apologize in advance if I start to get choked up or become a little extra emotional. I've become a lot softer after becoming a mom. But I'm just taking this all in. And I'm so lucky to be here. First off, just after my, thank you. But first off, just after my experience in Iraq, but the fact that canine is still so much a part of my daily life. Thank you to my amazing husband, who's here somewhere. He hates attention, so he's probably turning red. Sergeant Angelo Berdalia became a canine handler while we were just still dating. Obviously, he wanted to marry me, right? So we now have a 7-year-old German Shepherd police dog named Matt, who lives at home with us, who my daughter calls her brother. And let me tell you, it's a good thing I am a canine handler and a vet tech, because Mac is a handful. In 2020, the height of COVID, you guys remember what it was working like in the height of COVID. He broke his leg, a lovely spiral fracture chasing a frisbee. It led to not one, not 2, 3 surgeries down the road. This poor guy has gotten very used to wearing a coat. And he's also cursed with bad allergies. He's constantly fighting an ear infection, a skin infection. Luckily, I have an understanding of all these medications, and it's not hard for me to medically manage him. I know my husband is happy about that. And luckily for me, he's much better behaved than Rex, so as long as he gets a little bit of peanut butter, he's happy. I am also very lucky to have made such good friendships while I was in the Marine Corps. 2 canine handlers, my fellow Marine Corps canine handlers who I worked with, Brandon Owens and Andrew Reed were able to come here today to watch me speak. Be impressed, because Brandon is the canine training specialist for the Secret Service, and Andrew is the commander, a fancy name for the senior training instructor for the Federal Protective Service canines. And this is a very full circle moment for me. Dr. Stephanie Boyd was supposed to be in the audience today. She treated Rex in Iraq 20 years ago. Unfortunately, her mother just passed away and she was not able to make it today. My thoughts are with her. But just to still be in touch and have these special lifelong relationships, it makes the stories of my canine career that much more fun to tell with the people who can reminisce about it with me. So I get this question a lot. What is it like? They made a movie about you. So the thing I always tell people is, it's a movie. It's not a documentary. It's a movie. That's me yelling at the actress, by the way. Pretty cool. So it's based on my true life experiences. And to imagine 10 years of your life fit into an hour and 50 minutes. There's obviously going to be parts left out or not expanded on as much, but I am very proud of how my story was depicted and how they highlighted the bond I formed with my dog Rex and how he impacted my life for the better. And I feel like animals, they have that power over us. And that is why it's so important that we have people like all of you here that help keep our pets happy and healthy. I never envisioned myself joining the military growing up. I'm an only child. I always loved cats and dogs. I was a little shy, but I loved sports too. I liked being a part of a team. I grew up in a small suburb outside of New York City. Both of my grandfathers were in World War II. My father's brother served in Vietnam. But other than that, I had no ties to military life, or even thought it would be something I would pursue one day. Who knew it would be probably the best decision I made in my life? So, I might age myself a little here, but I graduated high school in 2001. And then off to college I went, even though I had no idea what I really wanted to do, but college it was. I was set up to go play softball, which I loved. I thought, maybe I'll be a gym teacher and coach a softball team one day. Sounds like a good plan. But going away to college is a weird time in your life. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. You leave behind everything familiar to you, your family, your friends, even your pets. You feel like you're supposed to have life figured out, and it's a very emotional and impressionable time in someone's life. Well, 1 month into me being away from home for the first time at college, this happened. September 11th, 2001. The day that changed the world forever. Back then, we didn't have cell phones like we have today. So every time I tried to call my house, I just got a busy signal. My father worked in New York City every day as a theatrical teamster at different locations. Who knows where he was that day? I had to wait all day to get in touch with my mom to make sure my dad was okay and accounted for. And he was, thank goodness. When I ventured out of my dorm room finally, I looked around and I just saw students and everybody was wearing red, white, and blue. It's a moment in time I will truly never forget. So while I was still unsure of what I wanted to do with my life, I felt that I have a bigger purpose and I wanted to help. So I went through the motions at school for a little bit, and my first break when you go home for the holidays, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, I told my parents, can I just come home and work full time and figure out what I want to do? I don't think I really want to go back to school. They were good parents, so they were not having that. I tried. Sadly, that same winter break, one of my best friends to this day, Matt, his older brother, who we all looked up to, passed away suddenly at just 20 years old. It just didn't seem real. This was all a lot for an 18-year-old to deal with, and I just felt like it was too much. But my parents made me go back to school, except I didn't really go back to school. I spent that semester doing pretty much whatever I wanted. I went to visit my friends at other colleges, definitely did my fair share of partying. But guess what? My plan worked, and now I couldn't go back to school because I had a 0.74 GPA and they would not have me back. Sorry, Mom and Dad. So I moved back home and I did try community college for a little while, but I just had that feeling still, I have a bigger purpose in life. The job I happened to be working at was right next to the local recruiting station, and I walked by it every day. One day I walked in. I looked around and I thought, this could be something I'm good at. I definitely caught the recruiter off guard when my first and only question was, do I have to cut my hair if I join? Because if so, I'm definitely out. So I had heard the Marines was considered the toughest branch in service. I've been known to do things to the extreme, so I thought, if I'm gonna do this, I'm going all in. I signed my contract to join the Marines. And at the time, I happened to be studying criminal justice. So my recruiter thought it would be fitting if I joined as a military police officer. So that would be my job once I finished boot camp. Never did I dream that K-9 would be an opportunity for me down the road. My poor parents, they were not exactly thrilled with me when I told them my decision to join the Marine Corps. My dad said, I'll support you no matter what. My mom said, you just ripped my heart out. Me being a mom now, it's definitely changed my perspective of this part of my life story. And I can empathize with my mother's point of view much more now. especially that there was actually a war going on at this time. But now they are both very, very, very proud Marine Corps parents. So boot camp was hard, but I made it through. I was now a United States Marine. Yeah. Next up for me was military police school, where I found myself in lovely Missouri. I know there's some Mizzou graduates in here, so you know what I'm talking about. There you go. And that would be the first time that I heard K-9 would be an opportunity for me. They had 2 K-9 handlers come into our classroom. They showed us this amazing video and explained a little bit about the job. At the end of their presentation, they said, okay, anybody interested in becoming a K-9 handler? Raise your hand. The whole class raised their hand. They said, all right, if you've ever been in trouble, go ahead and put your hand down. A couple hands might have gone down. If you don't have a 90% or higher in your written test scores, put your hand down. If you don't have a first-class physical fitness test, put your hand down. Okay, point taken. Got it. It went from the whole class raising their hands to, a couple still up. And they said, okay, look around. We're gonna choose one of you. So I had to work really, really hard to even be considered to have an opportunity to become a K-9 handler. I had to finish in the top of my class. I had to write an essay on why I thought I'd be a good candidate. And I had to go up on a board. A board is a panel of instructors, and they ask you Marine Corps knowledge questions. They check over your uniform, and they just ask you questions in general. So the first thing, they look over my uniform, and they ask me to do a drill movement. Easy enough, you would think, right? Mine, an about face, looked more like this. My nerves were shot. I was so nervous. I almost fell over doing the easiest drill movement possible. And I just remember thinking, I cannot believe I messed this up. But I never let them see that I was upset. I kept my bearings through the whole rest of the interview. And I actually think that's why they ended up choosing me. Because I kept my cool under pressure. Then I was off to Lackland Air Force Base to go to K-9 school, where I was very proud. I finished what they call the top dog in your class. And then I was off to be stationed at Camp Pendleton in California. I was 20 years old, and that would be my first time traveling to the West Coast. So when I got there was not a dog available for me yet. And that is where I initially met Rex. Yeah. He was a very, very good working dog. Very scary. I hated being in the bite suit when he was on the other end of that leash. But luckily for me, his handler was getting out of the Marine Corps. So since I didn't have a dog, he was passed out to me. I certified with Rex within a month, mostly thanks to him. I was still very new at being a dog handler, and we were shipped off to Fallujah, Iraq. I really got to know Rex on my first deployment. The bond between you and your canine dog is so important, and they say that everything runs down leash. So if you're having a bad day, your dog can pick up on that. Unfortunately for me, I was going through a really hard time that deployment. My parents had split up, it was getting messy, but I found comfort in throwing myself into work and spending time with Rex, building a rapport with him. And that's what's amazing about dogs. They can immediately lift your spirits. There's no judgment. They just listen. They can pick up on your energy. And they just love you. They show you unconditional love. And on that first deployment, me and Rex spent every day together. It really helped solidify our bond. I got to feel comfortable with him. I picked up on his habits. Not all of them were good. I also learned the hard way that he was very handler protective. One time I was waiting to be picked up by a convoy. A soldier came up behind me and tried to pet Rex on his head, bit him right in the hand. So while I was simultaneously trying to apologize and also be like, "What's wrong with you?" The convoy pulled up to get me, and I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, but I kind of gotta go." So when I returned that day, I was so proud of all the work Rex and I did. I almost forgot what happened before we left. But I didn't forget for very long, because as soon as I returned, I was screamed at because I didn't make an incident report. We're in Iraq. How do I do that? So I shook it off, and I learned a lesson the hard way. I learned I had to be very upfront with people about Rex's personality. I had to carry a mesh muzzle in my pocket at all times. The poor turret gunner in the Humvee was usually less than thrilled when Rex was standing in between his legs, right at his waist, when we were all crammed in there. But once the guys I was working with saw him work and saw how intimidating he could be, they loved him.